I'm having such a hard time. My storage on the phone filled up. I didn't bring my camera, and I'm gonna attempt to finish the conversation. We were talking about the case with Felicity Huffman and William Macy when he wrote the letter to the judge, indicating she had a bad past. She was left to her own devices to raise herself and her children. So, of course, this is, you know, acting out the same way. Um, what I do not know is what he was expecting out of the judge. Was he expecting for him to let his wife go? Or was he saying, let's not throw the baby with the water? Was he just doing a letter of character and also some kind of proclamation of where he stood with his wife? This is what my wife did, not who she is. So this is, if this is the case, then this is a good example of idealization as a coping mechanism because he's defending his identity as a husband. The View, the show, instead demonized her some more and went ahead and devaluated him in that action. We did not talk about reaction formation, but Meghan McCain added to this conversation that what he did was exactly an example of white privilege. Is it? I I don't know. I wonder why she had to mention it. Is there something about her being white that she feels uncomfortable that she had to make this statement like this? Because I'm thinking if they were of any other race, would he had not written the letter? If he had written the letter, would it be viewed not as any kind of privilege? Other people joining into this conversation at the View, the other panelists, and comments of, oh, welcome to the club. We all have bad past and we're not doing bad things. Really? Are we sure? So here it is. They're identifying with Meghan and they are just throwing more mud at them. It's their lack of comfort then with being privileged regardless of race. You know, privilege could be socioeconomic, status, being a public figure. So that lack of comfort with having some sort of privilege, and they make this comment that is so, you know, like a judgment thing and not compassionate at all, and it doesn't lead to anything good, but it's a show and it has its purpose. So God bless them. That's the context of the show. I'm using this as an example of a lot of ego defense mechanism playing out in here. So let me move the conversation to finish it up with splitting. Splitting is when idealization and devaluation cohabit. This is not a autonomous situation, right? This is a flip-flopping. So I'm going to give two examples. One example, it's when we are idealizing a person. Oh, they're the best and everything until they do something against our grain. The worst person ever. That's one way of splitting. The other way of splitting is we're the one receiving the attaboys from this person all the time. And the minute they bring our attention to something that it's not, you know, something they're going to give us an attaboy, we're like, oh, they're awful, you know, they don't know what they're talking about, they're the worst person, they just don't like me. It's like everything else that they have given us a thumbs up on, we are and saying that is positive, we don't want to remember it. We're just focusing on this one thing that hurt our our egos. So again, this is an inability to integrate two thoughts that yes, this person can like me and not like me at the same time for things that I'm doing for them or to them or whatnot. So that's what I have for you. I like to challenge you. Can you see in what ways you're letting your ego defense mechanisms run away with you and kidnap you? Or can you take a moment and look at them in terms of process to try to see what is coloring this? You know, yes, it's my ego is affected here because, and add that, you know. So I can use this ego defense mechanism to integrate these two thoughts together and be able to deal with it, staying within my window of tolerance and not precipitating into any kind of mental health disorder. On the splitting precipitation of mental health disorder, it could be any kind of neurosis or antisocial behavior, um, narcissistic personality disorder comes to mind, borderline personality, um, and many others. It doesn't matter. It's just that it is going to precipitate something. So going back to Neil Burton, he states that when ego of defense mechanism become maladaptive, that's another way to say you're using them wrong, right? And the intent is just to block the pain of not being able to integrate those two thoughts. You're not learning anything about the experience. So, and you're not really surviving whatever crisis you're in. So, because this ego defense mechanism is for us to be able to survive that blow to our ego. And it is a good thing. So, if you want to learn more about how do we use ego defense mechanism in emotion fitness, give us a call at 757-304-8035 or email me at lifecoach.bodymind@gmail.com. Ask me any questions you want. They may be very well used for context for the rest of the video challenges that we have. You might be helping me with my content. Again, this is Sandy Herrick with Ignite Best Practices. This is part two of day 5 of our video challenge. And I hope you're having a great day. Health and light, everybody.